we had a conversation yesterday, and we were wondering what you would say to this. Are you? Do you think you're better than Tom Brady?
That's not fair. There are. Let me just say it like this. There's no. You can't match up with the championships, right? I mean, look at just stop the conversation right there. The guy's won 7 championships. I mean, and you can go to each one, and it's very unique that my career has coincided almost exactly with his. He came out a year before me from Michigan. We played against each other in college, but certainly he's always been a guy that I've watched, respected, admired. Pull up their game tape, watch them. I mean, so many elements of his preparation and his process in getting ready to play that I feel like I know quite a bit about. So for that reason, so much respect and admiration. Listen, I'll be honest. I think each quarterback, and you could say this about Peyton Manning, you could say this about Aaron Rodgers, you could say this about the guys that came before us, like the Dan Marinos and the Elways and kind of that era. Each era of football kind of, especially with quarterbacks, I think kind of stands alone. I don't think it's fair to compare this era of quarterback with the eras that came before us, just because there's differences in the rules, there's differences in the environment, just all those things. There are things that I look at and say, Tom Brady does this better than anybody that I've ever seen. I could say that about Peyton Manning. I could say that about Aaron Rodgers. I could say that about myself. There's things that I think that I did better than anybody. So that's the way I look at it, is there's elements of everyone's game that probably set them apart from everybody else.
Yeah, because he has the resume, but the competitor in you still would feel like, I mean, you didn't get to on the doorstep of the Hall of Fame without having belief in yourself. If somebody said, hey, are you better than Bob Costas? At certain things I am. He's got the resume. He's got all of the sports Emmys. But in my mind, I feel like, hey, I can do things that he can't do, and vice versa.
Exactly. So, there's this competitive edge that exists with guys when you're in the, like, when you're in the mix, when you're in the moment, when you're playing the game, right? Like, I always felt like, especially maybe with quarterbacks in the NFL, that we would all have even closer relationships if it wasn't for the game. It is just so competitive, and we want to beat each other. We want to be better than that other guy. And I think we recognize the areas where someone might be better than us. Like, I can turn on the film and say, man, I recognize where Brady's better than me, or where Rodgers is, or Peyton, or one of these guys. And yet, so what do I have to do to get an edge on them, right? And obviously we're not playing against each other in a game, but at the same time we are. Because my performance has to be better than his performance in order for us to win this game, right? So yeah, that's how you develop an edge. I mean, that's how you develop your strategy for how you're going to need to approach the game or approach your performance in order to be better.